Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down the absolute madness of Alabasta, chapter by chapter.
Today, we are on chapter 201, Nico Robin.
And let me tell you, that title hits different after you read this chapter. We finally learn who Miss All Sunday really is, and it is so much darker than I ever could have imagined. This isn't just a clever alias reveal. It feels like a card just got flipped over that changes the entire game.
We're given a name, an age, and a crime, and none of them fit together in any way that makes sense. An 8-year-old girl who sank 6 Marine warships? The statement itself feels like a piece of propaganda. It's designed to be unbelievable, to create a myth, a monster.
It's an impossible sentence. It breaks your brain trying to picture it. If you've been following our journey through Alabasta, make sure you're subscribed, because the secrets buried under this sand are starting to come to light, and you do not want to miss what happens next. The foundation of the world government is starting to show some cracks, and I have a feeling we're about to see what's hiding in them.
Let's get into it. The chapter opens right where we left off.
Mizu Luffy. He's got the giant water barrel on his back, and he's just sloshing his way towards Crocodile. And it's working. He's landing punches. He's actually making contact with the untouchable Sandman. The raw, unfiltered genius of this plan is just, it's pure Luffy. It's so simple, so straightforward, that it's almost galaxy-brained.
It is. It's not a power-up, it's a solution. A very blunt, very direct solution. This is a recurring theme with Luffy. Think back to Enel, a god of lightning, seemingly untouchable. Luffy didn't need to learn some new energy technique. He was just rubber. It's that fundamental, almost childlike logic. He's made of sand. Sand gets clumpy when it's wet. I'll make him wet. He found the one loophole in a seemingly invincible power and is exploiting it with a barrel of water.
It's the ultimate work smarter, not harder, except Luffy's version of smarter looks dumber than anything you've ever seen. But it works. You see the moment where he lands that punch right on Crocodile's gut. The water splashes and Crocodile actually doubles over. He feels it. For the first time, this untouchable Loja god is getting hit like a common street thug, and it's beautiful.
And look at Crocodile's face. He is not impressed. He is not intrigued by the boy's ingenuity. He is utterly, deeply offended.
And Crocodile is furious. You can see it. He's not scared. He's insulted. This little rubber kid is making a mockery of him in his own throne room in front of the king he just usurped. It's a massive blow to his ego. He's built this entire persona of being an untouchable, calculating mastermind, and a kid with a water balloon on his back just figured him out in 5 minutes.
The insult is the most dangerous part. For a man like Crocodile, a physical wound is nothing compared to a wounded pride. It pushes him to stop toying with his food. He's so insulted that he basically ignores Luffy for a moment. He shouts over at Miss All Sunday, who's with King Cobra, and tells her to hurry up.
But he doesn't call her Miss All Sunday. He yells out, Nico Robin. And the speech bubble itself looks sharp, angry. It's not a request. It's a command barked by a man who is rapidly losing his patience.
And Cobra freezes. His eyes go wide. He knows that name. That name means something significant in the wider world, enough for the king of a secluded nation to recognize it instantly. It's the first sign that she's not just some high-ranking criminal from a pirate crew. Her name carries weight in the halls of power, whispered in the same breath as global threats.
It immediately recontextualizes her. We thought Miss All Sunday was her big-time criminal name. Turns out that was her undercover name. That was her laying low. It's wild. But before we can even process that, Crocodile is just done playing games. He puts his hand on the ground, and the entire royal garden just dies. The grass turns yellow, the trees wither, the earth cracks open into these massive chasms. He turns a lush courtyard into a patch of the Sahara in a second.
That technique, it is an awe-inspiring display of power. He isn't just controlling sand. He's creating the concept of a desert. He's imposing his element onto the world itself. We've seen Loja users like Smoker and Ace, and they can produce and become their element. This is different. This feels like a higher level of mastery. He's terraforming.
Luffy barely manages to hang on, grabbing the railing of the balcony as the ground crumbles away beneath him. He's lost his water barrel, so Plan A is literally sunk. But our boy is nothing if he's adaptable. He tries his new trick. He sucks in the last bit of water he has and spits a Mizu pistol right at Crocodile.
It's a brilliant improvisation. He took his signature Gomu Gomu no Pistol and adapted it to his new strategy on the fly. He essentially made himself a living squirt gun.
A water gun! He's literally shooting water at him. It's brilliant. It should work. He's using the same principle, just on a smaller scale.
Except it's not. Crocodile just holds up his right hand and the water vanishes. It turns to steam and disappears before it even reaches him. There's this little puff of vapor, and that's it. The attack is completely neutralized.
And that's the reveal. That's the next layer of Crocodile's power. It's not just that he can turn into sand. His right hand can actively, infinitely absorb moisture out of anything it comes near. That wasn't a defense, it was a passive ability. He didn't even have to try.
He calls the technique ground secco. Dry ground. He doesn't just command the sand, he creates the desert. He can turn anything back into sand. This explains so much. The perpetual drought in Alabasta, the way he can create sandstorms out of nowhere. His fruit isn't just the Suna Suna no Mi, the sand fruit. Functionally, it's the dehydration fruit. The sand is just a byproduct of his true ability to steal water, the source of life itself.
That is a warlord level ability. That's not just a devil fruit, that's total environmental control. Luffy's plan, as genius as it was a single chess move against a grand master. He solved one problem, but Crocodile is playing a completely different game. Luffy thought the weakness was water. The true weakness would be to somehow be more wet than Crocodile can be dry. And that seems impossible.
It's terrifying. It makes you wonder about the true upper limits of Logia fruits. Is this something all of them can do? Reshape the very environment around them? It feels like we just saw a hint of what these powers are truly capable of at their peak. We're seeing a glimpse of endgame level powers right here in Alabasta.
So while Luffy is literally hanging on for dear life, about to face a guy who can turn him into a raisin with a handshake, the scene cuts. We're back with Nisal Sunday and Cobra. Or, I guess, Nico Robin and Cobra.
They're making their way to the Poneglyph, but they're intercepted. Tashigi and her unit of Marines are blocking the way. She's still hurt from her encounter with Zoro, but she's standing her ground, ever the diligent soldier.
Tashigi tries to do the righteous Marine thing, pointing her sword and telling her to surrender. I cannot let you pass. And Nico Robin's response is so cold. She doesn't just dismiss them, she's filled with this genuine contempt. It's not the arrogance of a powerful villain, it's something deeper, more personal.
She calls them government dogs and says she hates them. There's a history there. That's not the reaction of a simple pirate or an agent for hire. That's personal. The term dogs implies they're mindless, that they just follow orders without thinking, and that she despises them for it. For someone as intelligent and calculating as we've seen her be, that's the ultimate insult.
And then Cobra, my man, King Cobra, a hostage with a knife to his back, yells at the Marines to forget about him. He tells them to go to the plaza, that a bomb is going to detonate the entire capital in 7 minutes.
7 minutes. The clock is officially ticking, and you really feel that urgency. The focus is tight on Cobra's face, and his expression is one of pure desperation. The stakes have just been quantified.
What a king. He is fully prepared to die if it means his people have a chance to live. That's royalty right there. His absolute priority, even at death's door, is the kingdom. We've seen so many corrupt leaders in this series. Morgan, Wapol, and here is a true king, willing to sacrifice himself. It's an incredible moment of courage.
Tashigi, to her credit, tries to do both. She tells them they'll save him and stop her. It's the quintessential Marine ideal. We will protect everyone and uphold justice, no compromises. But ideals don't fare well on the Grand Line. They don't fare well against someone like Nico Robin. She just attacks. Her Hana Hana no Mi powers bloom, arms sprouting from the soldiers' bodies, twisting their rifles and snapping their spines. It's brutal and efficient.
It's horrifying. One moment they're a disciplined squad, and the next they're puppets in their own clothes. Arms are just popping out of their backs, their shoulders, grabbing their heads and slamming them into the ground. It's a testament to how terrifying her devil fruit really is. There's no defense against an attack that originates from your own body.
She incapacitates the entire unit in seconds without even moving. She's a one-woman army.
And then it happens. One of the Marines, as he's being taken down, he recognizes her power. He recognizes her. It's a moment of dawning horror for him. He's not just being beaten by a Baroque works agent. He's face to face with a boogeyman, a legend taught to scare recruits.
He puts it all together. The face, the ability, the impossible stories he must have heard. He says her name. Nico Robin.
The Devil Child. That's what they call her. An 8-year-old girl who destroyed 6 Marine warships single-handedly. And her bounty from 20 years ago was 79 million berries.
Let's put that in perspective. Arlong, the terror of the East Blue, the tyrant who ruled an entire region for years, had a bounty of 20 million. Don Krieg, who commanded an armada of 50 ships, had a bounty of 17 million. Luffy, after taking down both of them, plus Buggy and Captain Kuro, got a 30 million berry bounty and was considered a major threat.
And a literal child, an 8-year-old, had a bounty of 79 million berries. That is astronomical. It's a number that doesn't make sense. It's higher than any bounty we've seen in the East Blue combined. It's almost as high as Luffy's current bounty of 100 million berries, which he got for defeating a warlord. She was considered almost as dangerous as a child.
The number is meant to be jarring. It's meant to tell you that the official story is a lie. No 8-year-old, no matter how powerful their devil fruit, is a 79 million berry threat for sinking ships. That bounty isn't a measure of her destructive capability. It's a measure of how terrified the world government is of her.
Super. This changes everything. This entire time, we thought she was just Crocodile's mysterious, powerful second in command. But she's been a world-class, infamous fugitive since before Luffy was even born. What in the world did an 8-year-old do to get that kind of attention from the world government?
I don't think the crime is the point. The bounty isn't for sinking the ships. That has to be just the excuse they printed on the poster. A simple, violent act that people can understand and fear. The bounty must be for who she is. It's for what she knows. Her very existence is clearly a capital crime in the eyes of the world government because she must represent some kind of truth they have spent centuries trying to bury. She is a living, breathing loose end.
Bro, that's heavy. So they're not just hunting a criminal. They've been trying to erase a piece of history for 20 years. And she's had to live with that on her back since she was a little kid. That wanted poster, that name, the Devil Child, that's been her entire identity to the world.
And you see the look in her eye when they say her name, the anger. It's intense. It's not the frustration of a villain whose secret identity is revealed. It's the pure, unfiltered rage of someone having their deepest trauma thrown in their face. She screams at them, "Do you want to live or die?" That's not a villain's taunt. That's the response of a cornered animal who has been fighting for its life for 2 decades.
It really makes you think about this world's concept of justice. You have these powerful adults who kill people while declaring it's a holy war, and then you have the children who are forced to witness it. Nico Robin is clearly one of those children. She must have seen something horrible, something done in the name of justice by the world government that destroyed her home, and then they had the audacity to call her the devil.
It explains the government dogs comment perfectly now. She doesn't just dislike the Marines, she sees them as the institution that destroyed her entire world and then branded her a demon for surviving. Every Marine she sees is a reminder of the Buster Call, of the fire, of everything she lost.
Faced with this living legend, this monument of tragedy and rage, Tashigi makes a hard call. She knows they can't fight her. Even with superior numbers, Robin's ability is too much of a nightmare to deal with. So she orders her men to leave her, to go and stop the bomb.
It's a true captain's decision. It's a moment of significant growth for her. She's willing to sacrifice herself to achieve the primary objective and save her subordinates. She understands the mission is more important than her own life or her own pride as a swordswoman. She's putting the people of Alabasta first, which is what a true Marine should do.
So she faces Nico Robin alone, and it's not even a fight. Robin just takes her. Arms sprout, one to hold her sword arm, one to hold her other arm, and one to grab her leg. Tashigi is immobilized in an instant, and in the next, Robin has disarmed her and is holding Tashigi's own sword, Shigura, to her throat.
The ultimate insult to a swordswoman, to be defeated so completely that your own blade is turned against you. It's a chilling display of utter dominance. Tashigi's dedication to her justice meant nothing against Robin's 2 decades of survival experience. Robin has seen true injustice, and Tashigi's black and white worldview is, to her, just childish naivete.
And just when you think it can't get any worse, that the tension can't possibly get higher, we cut back to the palace.
Luffy is still hanging from the railing, exhausted. The ground below him is a cracked, dry wasteland. His clever plan has been foiled, his water is gone, and he's staring down at certain death if he falls.
He's looking around for Crocodile, frantically trying to spot him in the ruins of the garden, and then he just appears right in front of him. There's no big entrance, no monologue, just the quiet, terrifying arrival of a predator. He materializes from sand, silent and menacing.
Crocodile grabs him by the neck. Luffy, in a last-ditch effort, spits another water bullet right at his face. It's his last bit of ammo, his final, desperate move.
And Crocodile just tilts his head. The water flies past, completely harmless. It's the most disrespectful, coldest dodge I have ever seen. He doesn't even bother to block it or absorb it. He just moves an inch to the side, as if to say, your best effort is not even worth my attention.
And then he uses his right hand, the one with the ground Secco ability. He places it on Luffy's chest. We see Luffy shrivel. The moisture is just pulled out of him. His eyes roll back, his skin cracks and tightens, his whole body seems to shrink. He turns into a dried-out, mummified version of himself. A husk.
It's one of the most brutal takedowns in the series so far. It's not a punch or a kick. It's a violation of life itself. Crocodile literally drained the life out of him. Then he drops him to the ground like a piece of trash and just says, "You've lost again."
It's devastating. The first loss, you could argue Luffy was arrogant and unprepared. He ran in half-cocked and paid the price. But this time, he came in with a brilliant outside-the-box strategy that countered Crocodile's core ability. He learned from his mistake. He gave it his all.
And he got dismantled effortlessly. Crocodile revealed a new layer to his power and dispatched him without breaking a sweat. It's an absolute definitive defeat. How does Luffy come back from this? He's been beaten, mummified, and left for dead again. He's a dried-up little rubber man lying in a desert that used to be a garden. What now?
I don't know. The physical defeat is one thing, but the psychological blow of having your best effort, your most clever strategy so casually crushed, that's a different kind of damage. The Warlord wall is real, and Luffy has just smashed into it for a second time, and this time it feels like he broke.
Man, what a chapter. The stakes just keep climbing. Every time you think we've hit the peak, another 10 floors get added to the building. It's a masterpiece of tension.
We have less than 7 minutes on the clock in Alabasta. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to be the one to save the day, because right now it feels completely impossible.
Okay, predictions for Chapter 202. I've got 2. First, someone completely unexpected is going to save Luffy. It won't be one of the crew because they're all occupied. My money is on Pell. We haven't seen the Royal Guard's strongest warrior in a bit, and this feels like the moment for him to swoop in. He can fly, he could get there quickly, and maybe get Luffy out of the immediate danger zone.
That's a good one. He is the Guardian Falcon of Alabasta, after all. It would be fitting for him to retrieve the kingdom's would-be savior from the clutches of its usurper. Having one of the few known flight-capable devil fruits makes him uniquely suited for a rescue like this.
Second prediction, Tashigi isn't done. Robin has her dead to rights, but Tashigi isn't the type to just give up. I think she's going to do something desperate. Maybe not to win, but to stall. To buy even a few seconds for her men to get to the bomb. She might get seriously hurt, but she won't go down without a fight. She just told her men the mission comes first. She's going to live by that, even if it means she doesn't live at all.
I could see that. Her pride as a swordswoman has been shattered, but her duty as a Marine remains. My turn. First, I believe we are going to get to the poneglyph next chapter. With the Marines out of the way, nothing is stopping Robin now. Cobra will be forced to lead her to the royal tomb, and there we will finally learn what it says and what Crocodile is truly after. I'm certain it's the ancient weapon Pluton. That was hinted at back in Wisty Peak.
Oh, absolutely. That has to be the endgame here. A warlord doesn't go through this much trouble orchestrating a civil war for years for anything less than a weapon of mass destruction.
My second prediction concerns the bomb itself. Tashigi's men are on their way, but I don't think it'll be unguarded. 2 of the top Baroque Works officer agents are still unaccounted for. Mr. 1, Daz Bones, and Mr. 2, Bon Clay. I predict that one of them is waiting at the clock tower, and we're about to see another major fight kick off there. The timer is ticking down, and there's a final boss rush waiting for our heroes.
Usopp? And who's with Usopp? I can't remember. Oh, Chopper. Usopp and Chopper. They're about to have a very, very bad day if they run into Mr. 1. That guy is literally made of blades. That's like Usopp's worst nightmare.
We'll have to wait and see. The pieces are all moving into their final positions for the climax of this arc. Join us next time as we continue our journey through Alabasta. This has been Inherited Dawn.